before the ad hoc committee. Okay, and it's a long read. We can get the details on page 6 of the Guardian, but that's the stand of the House of Reps ad hoc committee on the new Naira redesign, and saying that the 10-day extension is not what they are asking for. Appear before the House and answer questions, as simple as that. Now we also have here a professor of applied economics and expert in monetary policy intervention, Godwin Owo, said the Apex Bank cannot, as a matter of legality, deny Nigerians who have acquired money the right and privilege of their financial asset. Also referring to Section 20 of the CBN Act. And based on all of that clauses, an election bias to their knees would be defeated, as the process would be thwarted by the thousands spent productive hours in bank queues while one. So apparently the extension isn't even to this policy than saying, okay, you have 10 more days to get the new notes. What about the availability of the new notes? What about how much did you give to the commercial banks? How much did CBN print? How much is supposed to be available? Is it true that the commercial banks are hoarding it? Is it true that they are selling it to the highest spenders? What exactly is happening back end? So it's not the fact that, oh, we're going to suffer, we don't have access. But what exactly did the CBN do back end to make the new Naira notes accessible? And why the hurry with this policy implementation?
Well, Sandra, you asked about 8 questions, and those are very, very intelligent questions. And the only way to get answers to those questions would be for them to be inviting the head of commercial banks. So just imagine you have the CBN, the head of commercial banks, all at different sessions answering questions, giving Nigerians information so that we have the true picture of things. That's basically what we are talking about, the accountability, while you hold public office. That's what we are saying here. And Sandra, nobody is against the redesign of the new notes. Again, if we look at people who are hoarding money, both buyers, even kidnappers who have collected ransom, who have not been able to move those monies into the bank, we agree that it's a policy, it's going to help to solve some of these problems. But implementation is key, Sandra. You have a good idea, but you have a bad implementation strategy. Then, of course, it falls flat on the face. So that's what we are saying.
Okay.
And look, we are talking about Nigerians who want to live their normal life. They just want to do their normal daily transactions. They are not interested in politics. They are not vote buyers. They are not willing to collect money from any politician. They just want to live a normal life. So we must not try to solve a problem and create a bigger problem for people. That's what we are saying here.
All right. Now CBN, however, has also accused some banks of making the process of exchanging the new Naira notes with old ones and depositing old notes very cumbersome. So, sequel to this, CBN officials in Rivers State said they will start entering the strong rooms of banks in the state to check how they are dispensing the new notes given to them. That is for the CBN in Rivers. Should that be implemented across the nation?
I don't know whether we have enough staff to do that. Again, look at some of the things.
There's CBN in every state.
How many banks are they going to enter their strong rooms?
Okay.
How many branches are they going to be going? You don't understand. Yes, they are sitting in every state. But what I'm saying is that you have enough staff to go to every bank and tell them to open their vault and strong rooms to see how they are dispensing. They know what to do from the back end, Sandra. There are correspondence between commercial banks and the CBN. It's about, this is the amount of money we release to you. There can always be correspondence and reports. Again, I'm not somebody that really praise this idea of people voting and grandstanding and moving around for the optics. I know the CBN knows how to ensure that these things are done properly. And look, you're not just telling us these things that some people are holding. Answer critical questions that appear before the house so that when we know who to point the fingers at. So we can say, the problem is not from the CBN, it's the commercial bank. So we then know how to address the issue. But the idea of not coming to answer questions, for me, is still the reason why I will not believe whatever they are saying.
Well, just as I said, it's a very long read. It's an entire page. You can get all of the details on page 6. So many things that you can actually get from that one. The reps rejecting the extension, the currency swap deadline, putting about 100 trillion naira national output at risk, and that is coming from CPPE. That is the Center for Promotion of Private Enterprise, said that the new deadline is grossly inadequate, noting that the currency swap could put about 100 trillion naira component of the national GDP at risk. Quoting the CPP director, Dr. Muda Yusuf, saying, failure to extend deadline for the currency swap could put, just got the news that the deadline has been extended. CPPE believes that 10 days is grossly inadequate to make up for the glaring shortcomings of the Apex Bank in this process. So the entire process itself was also being brought to question, noting that two critical sectors are particularly vulnerable: trade and commerce and agriculture. The crippling of business transactions at the distributed trade and amid the currency swap crisis would not only undermine the trade and agricultural sectors, but would have a knock-on effect on the manufacturing value chain and the services sectors. This is because whatever is produced has to be sold. Now, just like I've said, or you can get all of the details on page 6. So many, experts saying a lot of things as regards the new Naira note, the extension thereof, and whether or not what exactly, is going to be the aftermath of February 10, 2023. Now, moving on from that one, also on the front page of The Guardian, another trending story we have here is Ayade yet to implement teachers' promotion since 2015. PDP gubernatorial candidate alleges. Now, politics. Let's see what we have here. Cross River, right? That's Cross River. Ben Ayade, yes. Okay, so what we have is on page 29 of The Guardian newspaper. So, governorship candidate of PDP in Cross River State, Professor Sandy Ono, has accused Governor Ben Ayade administration of failing to implement primary school teachers' promotion since 2015. He also alleged that the administration is owing public school teachers a backlog of salaries, and is tracing this recent allegation of extortion leveled against the public school teachers and the state to failure of the government to shoulder its statutory responsibility to the public service. Okay, so campaign continues. Campaign is interesting in Cross River State. These are the things that campaigns are supposed to be made of. Oh, you didn't do this, you're supposed to do this, you didn't do this, rather than, oh, you're not feeling fine, go and take care of yourself. Or
it's good that is highlighting those things.
Exactly.
It's not left for Ayade to come out and say why he didn't do that, or maybe it was a false allegation or not. It's just pure politics and campaign. So.
All right, we also have here, you are killing Nigerians in installments. And that's coming from the Labour leader to the president, Muhammadu Buhari. And that's on page 5. And the report is saying, former chairman of Trade Union Congress, TUC, in Oyo State and convener of All Workers Convergence, Andrew Emelieze, has accused President Muhammadu Buhari's government of debasing the country with its policies and programs. The Labour leader said it is obvious that protest is inevitable in Nigeria now because the last 7 years of Buhari has been suffocating Nigerians. And according to him, things are getting worse. And he cited the current fuel and naira scarcity as proof of how Buhari is systematically and gradually strangulating Nigerians. Okay, so let me just go to where he said that protest is inevitable now. Is that the way forward from the TUC now? I mean, we're about to elect a new government.
President.
Should we start going back to protesting again? Is there anything that protest can do at this time now?
I think we should just be prepared to protest with votes. I think Nigerians should do that at the polls. Again, we don't want people to be at arm's way. We don't want people to die needlessly. Nigerians are suffering. If we start any form of protest now, we're going to disrupt business activities. And that's not, I think, what we need now. I think we have, like you said, we have 25 days to go to choose a new leader. And I think Nigerians have an opportunity to protest if they want with their votes at the polls. I agree that the 7 years have been suffocating. A lot of also believe that the president has disappointed us in a lot of ways. His policies some of the ways he has been able to handle. For example, the issue of insecurity. You know, sometimes when I look at the scorecard of the president and the way his handlers want to defend and highlight the achievement, I just shake my head. You know, even the issue of the economy too, right? And a whole lot of things. But again, we have an opportunity 25 days to choose a new president, a new set of leaders, and we'll wait to see how Nigerians will react. Like I said, they have an opportunity to protest with their votes at the polls. And if they think that, you know, I think we should just allow everything come up at the polls. Let's see what Nigerians will do.
More details on page 5 of the Guardian newspaper. Moving on, we also have here, gunmen kill 5 security operatives along Enugu-Abakaliki highway. And that is on page 9 of the Guardian newspaper. And the report is saying 2 soldiers and 3 police officers were reportedly killed on Saturday night as unknown gunmen attacked security checkpoints along the Enugu-Abakaliki highway. And it was gathered that the gunmen, who operated in 2 Sienna vehicles, drove first into the military checkpoint at Idodo, Enugu State, attacked it, killed 2 soldiers, and proceeded to the border checkpoint with Ebonyi State, where they killed 3 policemen. Another policeman who was shot on the leg is said to be receiving treatment at a hospital in the Ebonyi State capital. And that is on page 9 of the Guardian newspaper.
Still on insecurity in the southeast.
Still on insecurity. Very, very unfortunate. Okay. Moving on also now, we have here Buhari jettisons Ganduje security alert, visits Kano today. Okay, and that is on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. So the president or the presidency has not rescheduled today's official visit by the president to Kano. And the president is expected to commission about 7 legacy projects by Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje and in the state capital. So there's the presence of military personnel and other uniformed men around the metropolis. But then the Kano state government had on Friday confirmed that they made a formal request urging the presidency to postpone the visit over security concerns. But then, despite the letter to that effect, an impeccable source confirmed readiness by the presidency to proceed with the visit. And the source, however, disclosed that the president might focus on the multi-billion naira solar energy facilities and few projects that were financed by the federal government. Should he go? Should he not go? The Kano state government's going ahead to send a letter saying, oh, we're having some issues at the moment, maybe you should come back later and whatnot. What do you think of this communication?
Well, I think, Sandra, if you've been following events, you know that there seems to be a problem in-house for the PDP, for the APC, sorry. You know, if you read the letter of the Kano state government, you know that one of the things they also pointed out was the issue of the Naira design scarcity, the fact that people are agitated and all of that, and they feel that, look, it's not the best time for the president to visit Kano state.
Okay.
My own worry is that if the governor of the state, who is the chief security officer of the state, is saying that, look, he has briefings that, look, this is not the best time for the president to come. He's also supposed to be the host of the president, you know. He said, oh, you shouldn't come now, because some of the projects would have to be the projects of the state government and the federal government projects. But again, we don't have, the source that is saying the president is going to proceed with the visit has not been named, so we have to be careful.
Yeah. Until
the president visits against the advice of the state governor, I wouldn't want to say too much. But I think that the APC has internal issues that they're trying to cover up. The governor, some of the governors are very loyal to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the presidential candidate himself, Tinubu, the president, and I think some powerful powers within the party are struggling to really keep up with one another and really function together as far as this campaign is concerned. But again, we'll wait to see whether the president will visit against the advice of the governor, who is supposed to be the host. And if he visits, we'll also be monitoring how he's going to be able to do that, whether the governor would have to go and meet him, welcome him, and proceed with him on some of the schedules that he have in the state. So we just wait to start that worked out.
All right, then. Thank you very much. But well, the governor himself is saying that yes, they are very much ready to receive. I don't know, but we'll see if the president will actually be in Kano today or not. More details on page 3 of the Guardian. Finally, from the Guardian newspaper, we have here road accidents. That's another major story here. Road accidents in Lagos or rare in different parts of the country. That's another thing that we're going to be looking at. Although across the major, across the nation and the Punch newspaper is the very, very gory picture of what happened at Ojuelegba, the bridge at Ojuelegba yesterday. Very, very unfortunate between a Korokwe, the small minibuses, and a container. Whether it was an issue of the container not being latched properly, or whether it was an issue of the Korokwe trying to maneuver a container or a truck laden container, I don't know. But the entire truck fell, and about nine people, yes, about 9 people unfortunately lost their lives. 2 kids, 1 boy, 1 girl, and there was one survivor. The information that we're getting is that that one survivor was the person that was sitting by the door. So I think what they said was that she was trying to get down when it happened. So I think that was what saved the woman. A very, very unfortunate situation. But then that Ojuelegba bridge is something that we need to talk about. Also, we also need to talk about latching of containers, latching them down, ensuring that they are well stapled down. And then also that bridge, okay, it didn't fall over, but yes, we still need to talk about the fact that the rails, the barriers on the bridge, also they need to look at it. It's something that they need to look at. Hopefully something will be done. I mean, this happened in the speaker's constituency. Hopefully we'll be hearing something as regards that.
Well, you know what, Sandra? This is not the first time that this unfortunate incident has happened. Ojuelegba precisely. There have been situations where it has even fallen from the bridge and falling
down
and all of that, and it's always at that point. I think the simple solution, and again, this is about governance, and this call is directly at the governor of the state.
Yeah,
it is very simple. At the Ojuelegba bridge and the Domalong bridge, can there just be a rule that look, the containers should not climb those bridges?
They should just pass down.
They said they should just pass down Ojuelegba, and in fact, when you get to Domalong, pass through Jibu,
it's just it's simple. Can there be a rule like that? Is it possible?
It's simple now. This is a very simple. Any articulated vehicle, not even the containers alone.
Not just containers.
Even the the fuel tankers, any articulated vehicle, because standard, you know what? Nobody checks the conditions of this articulated vehicle. The VIOs, road safety, are more interested in private cars and private buses.
They don't stop them.
They don't bother with the articulated vehicle. A lot of times these guys don't have proper brakes. Their braking system is not functioning properly.
Roadworthiness, all those things.
With those things, even we are looking at them, they are not even roadworthy.
They're not roadworthy.
But okay, just looking at, don't you see that most times their motor boys holding one big stick to help them with their brakes?
To hold it together. Oh my goodness, you see that?
we see these things, but nobody cares. But the 9 people that died yesterday, family that will know what has happened to them as we speak. This is about governance. Can we just ask the rules that look, anything, every district, Ojuelegba, the Domalong, we just pass under or pass through Jibu, simple as ABC. And I think during the Fashola era, there was even the rule of the time to, I think they
had curfew. They had curfew from 10 to 5 a.m.
And then maybe we can even have a proper way to check the roadworthiness of these articulated vehicles, these heavy-duty vehicles. Because again, even if you latch the container very well, standard, there's a way they can tilt over that they will pull everything together and still fall off. Because it's not just about latching. It can still be latched properly, but it depends on the way it's going to fall. That will make it pull everything, both the tires and the carrier and everything can pull off.
Just as this one that happened yesterday, the entire truck fell over, like it tipped over. It's not just the container. It's not just the container. The entire truck.
It's not just about latching.
Well, let's move on now. It's a very unfortunate incident. The pictures are all over the front pages of The Nation and The Punch newspaper. You can get the details in there. Very unfortunate one. Now, I'm moving on to The Nation newspaper. You're listening to Trends in the Papers on 98.3 Milan FM. I'll be moving as fast as I can so we can touch as many stories as possible this morning. Naira swap row deepens. Reps reject 10-day deadline extension. CBN to mop up 900 billion naira more from circulation. So inside the papers, you get more stories on that one on pages 2 and 3, and also on page 5. On page 25, you can also see no banks in 24 Kano local governments. Cash scarcity persists at ATM points. POS operators record boom. Hike charges. Experts. That's another issue. That's another situation. Experts fault short extension by Apex Bank. So there's so many reactions. We've talked about it enough, but then just an addition to that, some people are even saying the 1 week is too short. And then you also have the fact that POS operators right now are seriously cashing out. So as against 100 naira on per 5,000 naira withdrawal, now we're having as high as 500 naira per 5,000 naira withdrawal. And then you also have cash scarcity persists at ATM points. You need to see the queues at the ATMs over the weekend. Very, very, very disturbing.
When a video of people fighting, pushing themselves, manner of needless, things that they have to put Nigerians through.
Hopefully this will turn into chaos.
A governor that has too much ego, that doesn't want to account to anybody.
Well, there are more details on pages 2 and 3 and 25, okay, of The Nation newspaper, still on the Naira swap. And then also on the front page, a big story, 2 kids among 9 killed as container falls on commercial bus in Lagos. Gbajabiamila wants container trucks barred from Ojuelegba Bridge. Guess now we're talking. Yeah. All right. And more details on page 6. I think that would just be the solution to this. They should just pass. They should go down. They should pass that. They don't have to climb.
Not just Ojuelegba, but the Damalong Bridge too. The next one.
The next one, Ajibo. Okay. Yes, the one at Empire. All right. Okay. More details on page 6 of The Nation newspaper. Moving on now, we also have 5 Cameroonians held for kidnapping. That's on page 6 of The Nation. We also have Adeleke puts University of Ilesha on hold. That's on page 27. APC accuses PDP of planning campaign of calumny against its candidate. And that is on page 8. And okay, and what that is telling us, let's see what we have from the reports. Page 8. Okay, yes, page 8. What we have is that the APC Presidential Campaign Council has said it has uncovered plans by main opposition PDP to fill the media space with fake news and disinformation about the forthcoming general elections. Yes, I don't know what. I see this is just very desperate attempt to just clear up, what was said or what was not said some days ago. But let's see what we have here. The ruling party's campaign council alleged that the PDP is planning to use fake news in Hausa to malign, defame, and illegitimize the party and its flag bearer, Asiwaju Tinubu, ahead of the polls.
Okay.
They're saying that the PDP perfected the alleged plot with a team working with the main opposition party's national headquarters. They're saying, we uncovered this evil plot targeted to manipulate Nigerians and most especially Northerners to see Asiwaju Bola Tinubu in bad light as the only way for PDP and its failing presidential campaign to have a chance at the February 25 presidential election. So they're saying that the PDP, they have hired social media influencers.
Okay.
And
those ones are not, and the APC can't hire those ones too.
And that they have started pushing some nefarious contents by spoofing and using parody social media accounts of popular newspapers and blogs to disseminate fake news with the sole aim of hoodwinking gullible Nigeria. How gullible do they think we are?
Well, let us even assume that Nigerians are gullible. Let us even assume.
We should assume. Okay.
Let's just wait now. Let's just even assume. But I think what I would do is give them a free service, a professional service. In PR practice, we say these things. If indeed they've uncovered that the PDP will be pushing out a lot of disinformation, fake news, the easiest tool to counter fake news is to put the truth out there. So they should get themselves ready. Maybe also hire experts. I'm sure they have the money to do that. So as PDP pushes out to them those fake news, they should push out the truth to counter the fake news. It's a very simple thing. They should not bother Nigerians with some of these insinuations and distractions. They know what to do. They have a campaign team. They have what's the Daily Alert is a veteran journalist. They have Bayo Ononuga, who is also a veteran journalist. They have a Festus Keyamu, have a Fanika. They have all of these guys who can help them claim the mess.
Fuad,
yes.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Did you just say Bayo Ononuga?
Sorry?
Did you just mention Bayo Ononuga?
Yes, of course, veteran journalist.
The same man that said bullion vans missed their way?
The thing is this, what I'm saying is that, well, that's it again, how these guys try to clean the mess. Again, if they have problems with getting professionals, there are a lot of professionals out there who can help them to do the job. If indeed the PDP is really trying to push out fake news, you don't push out the truth.
Well,
if the fake news comes and you push out the truth, simple as it is.
Most importantly in this report is that part of the PDP's evil machination, okay, that's not me talking now, sorry.
According to them.
According to the APC PCC, now I'm quoting, all right, open quote. Part of the PDP's evil machinations will be to make false claims and allegations against President Muhammadu Buhari, Asiwaju Tinubu, his running mates, Kashim Shettima, and other APC leaders in manipulated videos, doctored voiceovers, Photoshop images, and other means, all in a bid to win the election by hook and crook.
I agree that these are propaganda tools that people use. Yes, all of this they are saying. You can doctor videos, doctor voice notes, doctor pictures, and all of that. But I'm saying that should be their own jobs to as spokesperson,
to
as
clear
the campaign
up.
council. As these things come out, put out the truth and let Nigerians decide. Nigerians are not stupid. They should, again, these are just distractions, needless distractions. Again, I'll ask,
right,
what do we make with this now? What are we supposed to do? To go and beg the PDP not to put out fake news?
They're telling us ahead, so if we see anything, we should be...
How do we know if they don't tell us the truth, if the fake comes out?
We should not be gullible when we see
okay.
those.
All right. We don't hear them. Let's move on.
Okay. All right. Oh, hold on. I need to correct something. Please hold on. Okay. I'm trying to get information. I'm just getting information now. It was not Bayo Ononuga that spoke about it.
It was not Bayo Ononuga, yes.
All right. Apologies for that.
It was another spokesperson. I can't remember his name now.
I can't remember his name. that was why I traced it back to Bayo Ononuga. Please help me get it. Okay, thank you. It wasn't the one. Petrol now 550 in cities. Scarcity bites harder. May linger. Okay, so the blame game over the 5-month fuel scarcity continued on the weekend, with motorists and other users of the product paying between 240 and 550 naira per litre in major cities across the country. So basically what this report is telling us is that the price of petrol is getting higher. And that's on page 5 of the Nation newspaper. That's still a problem. And we also have here, Buhari unmoved by PDP's abuses, says Tinubu. And we have a rider to that. Nnamani, I dumped Atiku for Tinubu because PDP went back on zoning. Yeah. All right.
The politicians always have reasons for taking this decision. Just like the woman, not just.
If you did bring up that woman, I'm very worried. I think you were going to go there. But what we have in this particular report is okay. What we have in this particular report is that what we have is that
even the man is saying is dumping PDP,
Yes.
Because of the issue of zoning. Why didn't he go for Peter Obi? Why did he go for Ajoy?
Okay.
Because again, it's about zoning. You should even be talking about micro zoning to the southeast.
All right.
That's probably the the fairest thing that should have happened. So again, these politicians, they have to be careful. They always want to justify decisions they make. He's a member of the PDP, but he's working for Asiwaju. I think they even suspended him. The PDP has suspended him. The same thing Najatu did. He said he's going to leave the APC. He's not going to do party politics again. And the next day, we saw him in Atiku's house. And today, he's speaking for Atiku and the PDP. These things are these politicians. I beg.
All right, so that's just basically justification for his that Chimaroke Namani justifying his preference for the presidential candidate of the APC, saying that the PDP breached the North-South power rotation principle provided for in its constitution by fielding Alhaji Atiku Abubakar as its presidential candidate for the polls. You can get the details on page 5. And also we have here the APC presidential candidate also saying that he has promised to use Edo State's national. He said a whole lot as regards that, but you can get all the details on page 5. Moving on now. Before we move on, I also need to quickly correct myself. It was not Bayo Ononuga. The Lagos State Organizing Secretary of the APC, that's Ayodele Adewale, was the one who made that claim that the bullion van spotted at the residence of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu's residents missed their way in 2019. So that's from Ayodele Adewale. I need to correct that. Very important. Apologies for the wrong name or the mix-up. Yeah. Moving on now.
What Bayo Ononuga did was that after Asiwaju's outing at Delta, he was one that did a press release saying that Asiwaju was pointing to PDP and the licenses he gave to retailers. That he was not. He was one that issued the press release the second day. That he was not Buhari, Asiwaju was referring to.
Okay. All right. Above the masthead of the nation, we have Ajero set to replace Waba as NLC president. Union confirmed for February 7. That is on page 8, and what we have is that barring last minute change, the General Secretary of the National Union of Electricity Employees, Joe Ajero, will replace Ayuba Waba as the Nigeria Labour Congress president. Ajero is the Deputy National President of NLC and is the only candidate for the position of president going into the February 7 and February 8, 2023 Delegates Conference of Nigeria's Umbrella Union next month. We'll get all of that when that happens. There's a lot of, acronyms here. That's on page 8 of the Nation newspaper. All right, and now moving on, we also have here pension funds rise to 15 trillion naira. That's on page 15 of the Nation newspaper. Thank you for staying with us. You're listening to Trends in the Papers on 98.3 Mainland FM. All right, moving on now to the Punch newspaper. Major headline: New Naira, anger spreads over scarcity. Reps oppose CBN extension. So we have riders to that. Customers stranded, ATMs empty as worshippers dump old notes in churches. CBN Ben, let's go and give off with the old notes.
No. I thought that some churches have said that they won't be collecting the old notes, that people shouldn't come with the old notes.
Some churches. Why did they say they will not, when you still have up until January 31st to collect it? But
so people purposely went to dump the old notes in church. That's almost like not respecting the sanctity of the worship house.
What?
Yes.
It is well.
Let's move on.
CBN deploys 30,000 super agents nationwide to boost cash swap program. Emefiele says 1.9 trillion naira old notes deposited, projects 900 billion naira before deadline. That's on page 2. There's a whole lot as regards the new naira. That's on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Moving on now, we also have here very interesting actually. My support was for Osinbajo, not Tinubu, and that is coming from Fuad's new best friend, Najatu Mohammed. That's on page. That's on page 7. Sorry.
Everywhere now.
I
guess she's everywhere.
She's all over the place. She has an entire page. She has an entire page for her on page 7 of the Punch newspaper. It's an interview that she granted Let me refresh our memories just in case some of us forgot. She recently resigned as a director in the All Progressive Congress presidential campaign, saying that she's leaving partisan politics due to the fact that all these parties, they just have the same ideologies. There's nothing special about being partisan. Although 2 days later or so, we saw pictures of her with the presidential candidate of the PDP. And now what we're getting from page 7 of the Punch newspaper is that she's saying that her in the first place, I'm quoting now, in the first place, I did not support Tinubu as a presidential aspirant. My support was for Professor Yemi Osinbajo from day one. In fact, I had sent emissaries to Osinbajo to come out and contest that he is relatively young, well-educated, proactive, and brilliant. We notice that each time the president leaves the country, we gain some semblance of sanity, including the value of the naira. And when Tinubu emerged, he emerged in the most corrupt way. I'll end it at that. It's an interesting read. You can get the details on page 7.
Can I say one thing? Can I just say one thing?
Just say one thing and let's move on, please.
I think that's what the supporters of Asiwaju have been saying in the APC. That the APC members who had thought Osinbajo was going to pick the ticket of the party seems not to have been able to move on and then give their support to Asiwaju. Again, it's democracy. Well, there might have been exchange of monies, but it was a game that was played, and Asiwaju emerged. So you see a lot of Asiwaju supporters who believe that, look, a lot of these guys who moved to PDP, who have moved to the Labour Party, were just disgruntled members who felt dissatisfied that their candidate did not pick the ticket.
Not just Osinbajo, no.
Others too. That's what I'm saying. And if Najatu is saying, oh, I actually supported Osinbajo, one would have said, okay, is it because Osinbajo didn't win? That's why you are saying all you are saying. But again, if you supported Osinbajo because he was fairly young, why now Atiku? Why is she supporting Atiku now? She has not been able to say that.
To justify her preference for Atiku, eh?
Atiku, yes. She has not been able to say that.
She might say it in the papers. You just need to read more.
Or maybe you still say it before the election.
If you are so interested in knowing why. She has gone. So let's move. More details on page 7 of the Punch newspaper. Now we also have here Ekweremadu embattled Ike Ekweremadu in court on Tuesday after 223-day detention. That is, it will be appearing in court again on Tuesday in the UK. Let's not forget that he has been in custody, and Monday, that's today, will make it 221 days since he was placed in custody of UK authorities. All right, so we can get more details when that happens, and he's scheduled for tomorrow, January 31st. We get more details by then as regards what exactly is the way forward. We also have here court delivers judgment seeking 2023 polls cancellation, and that's on page 30. Very quickly, what I have is that a federal high court in Abuja will today deliver judgment on a request as seeking to stop the conduct of the forthcoming presidential elections scheduled for February 25. And the court will also decide whether to sack the president over alleged illegalities in the 2019 presidential election. And the judgment built to be delivered by Justice Inyang Ekwo is based on a suit filed by the presidential candidate of Hope Democratic Party, Chief Ambrose Owuru. So that is going to be happening today. We'll get more details. We'll know what exactly will be happening as regards that one. Yes, by then. All right. That is on page 30 of the Punch newspaper. And finally, from the Punch newspaper, government appointments lopsided, lack merit. And that's coming from Obasanjo. And that's on page 22 of the Punch newspaper. Okay. We're not able to touch Vanguard at all, but stay with us. We'll be back by 8:40 to discuss more on Milan Focus. We'll pick one or two trending stories and we'll focus on it. But in the meantime, when we come back also, I'll just quickly rush through major stories that we're not able to take from the other papers but are featured from Vanguard, because there's one or two that we'll just like to see. What took our time this morning was just the Naira swap, because that's the hot topic at the moment. But stay with us. We'll be back by 8:40 for Milan Focus, where you get to be a part of the conversation when we open up the phone line and you can send in text messages. You're listening to 98.3 Mainland FM.
FM, the sound of Lagos.
The 2023 Nigeria elections is around the corner. Only one name stands out to represent the people of Ikorodu Federal Constituency at the House of Representatives. Vote Honorable Abdul Karim Ulugbenga Shitu brings fresh ideas and quality representation to the people of Ikorodu. Secure your future today. In Ikorodu, a vote for the PDP is a vote for Shitu. A vote for Shitu is a vote for accountability. A vote for PDP in Ikorodu is therefore a vote for progress and development. Get your PVC today and vote for Honorable Abdul Karim Ulugbenga Shitu for House of Representatives of the PDP to represent you in Ikorodu Federal Constituency in 2023. Vote Honorable Shitu for fair, equitable, and just representation. PDP, power to the people.
Are you in search of a conducive, safe, and very affordable modern superstore in your neighborhood to shop for all your daily household needs? Then look no further.
Jendol Superstores is the right place to be.
Jendol Superstores has got all you need for your daily household consumables such as groceries, children items, beddings, pastries, bakeries, frozen foods, assorted drinks, wines, liquor, baby products, cosmetics, toiletries, unisex boutique, stationeries, quality electronic gadgets with sections for food, condiments, party, and lots of gift items for everyone to shop from.
So, what are you waiting for?
Jendol Superstores also has delicious eatery and village market sections to give you sumptuous local delicacies at an affordable rate for an unforgettable eatery experience that you've never tasted before.
Visit Jendol Superstores today at number 60 Egbeda Idimu Road by Oja Bus Stop, Egbeda, Lagos, or number 241 Lagos Abelkuta Expressway, U-turn Abulegba, Lagos,